Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me. I am Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Please reach out to me directly. I am Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today we are discussing a lovely 1997 Ulysse Nardin Monopusher Chronograph. Now you might be familiar with the 175th anniversary model that came out in 1998. This is a late 1990s launch. This is the prior model, not the anniversary. Mechanically identical, however, to the anniversary. This watch has something the 175th anniversary model does not, which is a display caseback of its spectacular F.P. Journe designed movement. So a timepiece very much of its era in pink gold, 37 millimeters in diameter with a white lacquered dial, 10.3 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip, a nice compact 44.6 millimeters with a 19 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and you can see it fits quite nicely, comfortably flat, flush, low enough to fit underneath the cuff, and delightfully wearable. My wrist is 16 centimeters, but you can see in this down the barrel shot that the lugs come nowhere near the edge of my wrist, so I believe you could wear this watch on a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference, and it would be suitable for a lady's wrist as well as a man's. The strap uses small rectangular scale alligator leather in semi-gloss finish in black with a monotone stitch and a sheer cut edge. There's also some bolstering or stuffing to give it some upscale volume. You can see on the bottom, calfskin, a Ulysse Nardin factory strap in very good condition. You can see no crimping, no gouging from the top, and then it's matched by a small UN branded pink gold pin buckle. The case is simple but strong with lovely integrated lugs that come to a little bit of a tapered tip. They're thin, they're polished, everything on the case is of high polish. We have a vintage inspired onion style crown, unsigned with integral coaxial monopusher, and then a lovely and large domed bezel giving way to a dial with a handsome twin register aesthetic. You can see Breguet style Arabic numerals have been employed on this white lacquer dial, twin register with sunken registers, each featuring concentric patterns internally. There's a tachymeter scale which can be used in conjunction with the chronograph to gauge the speed of an object. The classic example is a race car over a kilometer. And you can see we have lovely blued hands and many different types, as we have a sort of pair style for the hour, a counterweighted lancet style seconds hand for chronograph seconds. We have an assegai or spear style hand for the minute, a little bob counterweighted lancet for the seconds, and then we have a triangular index for the chronograph minutes. So a lot going on here. There are a couple of different colored elements on this dial, including white, black, blue, and red. So it's a bit more nuanced than it might appear at first glance. And of course, Ulysse Nardin out of Le Loc, Switzerland, a great manufacturer that is once again independent. I should probably wind this watch up. So this is very much a piece of modern independent horological history, and not just because of the F.P. Journe movement. Now, on the reverse side, technically, this is caliber 38, UN 38, is said to be a Jacquet movement designed by F.P. Journe for Jacquet on a commission from Ulysse Nardin and Franck Muller. And I have seen this movement in UN and Franck Muller watches. But while UN and Franck Muller are perhaps the customers for this piece from Jacquet, Journe, along with Denis Flageolet, had a company called THA that made an almost identical movement for Cartier, where it did business in the Tortue Monopoussoir. So although technically this is a separate movement, it's almost identical to the Cartier caliber MC045 in its tech specs as well as its bridge and train arrangement. Again, almost exactly what you would find in the Cartier. I believe it is the exact same THA movement repurposed by a combination of Journe and Jacquet for UN and Franck. So what you're looking at here is a manual wind caliber that is beautifully hand finished with gorgeous mirrored anglage on both the steel chronograph components and the brass bridges. You could see stripes across the bridges, beveling on the steel parts, but also satination across the top of the steel components, such as the springs, the levers, and the clutch. We have engine turning on the base plate in two different sizes, spectacular solarization on the ratchet wheel, satination on the train wheel, wheels. You can see we have a column wheel, lateral clutch with an oscillating pinion engagement, which has less play than a conventional lateral clutch, 21 pivot joules, a 3 Hz beat rate, and a manual wind 40-hour power reserve, all inside a 30-meter water-resistant watch. And you can see this movement really is beautifully finished. Elements such as that ratchet wheel, which has been solarized in spectacular fashion, the quality of the bevels on both bridges and steel chronograph parts, the bluing of the screws, the delicacy of some of these springs. It's very special. You can even see that locating pegs here and here, for example, that are used to locate bridges on the base plate, those pegs have been polished on their tops. This is a wonderful piece of 1990s new vintage horology, as well as independent watchmaking, both on the UN side and the heritage of F.P. Journe and Denis Flageolet in the development of this incredible monopusher column wheel movement. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.